All right, there we are. Welcome, everyone, to our little writing stream. Another Wednesday evening, let's write with me, Emu. And I have a very special guest, as announced,
And it's
Pemu.
me, Pemu. Pemu and Emu.
There
We're
we
just
are.
working our way through the alphabet.
Yeah, yeah. We lost a lot of good mews between Emu and Pemu, but here
Dark
we are.
times.
Dark times. Um, Uh, are we both very audible? Very audible? Are we audible at all?
Can you hear us? Our dulcet tones?
um, you missed a very important
Very
P.
important P.
Hmm. I don't
Well, at
usually,
least we can be heard.
yeah, I don't usually miss important P's, but it's bad to hold it in. I've been told.
Yeah, yeah. P's are the hardest letter to ignore.
Visual check. All right. We need to do a visual check. Did you know that the chicken dance was Dutch?
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I say that like it surprises me, but it feels Dutch when you're
It
doing
feels
it.
Dutch. There you
But, oh, where are my clogs?
go. Need to do the clogging. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, welcome
Thank
to
you for having me.
the stream. The very first collaborative Let's Write. That's nice. Um, and yeah, it's good to have you here. We want to do uh, a writing stream, and the goal of this is to just also showcase, how do we write, how do we uh, uh, make our stories, make our characters, make everything work basically. And one of the big things about Obsidian Fleet and the different games that we kind of participate in there is that there's more than one writer, not just us, but also other writers out there, and it's more fun writing together. It's one of those things that you can help motivate each other, and if someone doesn't have inspiration, you know find someone that does, and you
Yeah.
kind of you tag along, right, and you go
Yeah.
along. We're on two games together, the
Yeah.
X-Men
And
Avalon game.
X-Men Avalon and Atlantis.
Atlantis, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
where you've only fairly recently joined. uh,
Yeah. I started simming like this year. I feel like being in a Let's Write with you feels like I'm like sitting at the feet of masters while I'm still very much a novice.
I don't think that's true, but
Yeah, thank you. You have
uh,
to say that because I've come here as a guest and haven't asked for payment.
no, yeah, exactly. This is just we pay an exposure, so
Yeah, yeah,
there you
yeah.
go.
Oh, like all the big companies.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All the creative people got
Yeah,
some
yeah.
of their best work done working solely for exposure. So there we are. No, support your artists, and pay them a fair wage.
Oh, I
Um,
am. Someone's just said I'm basically a sucker, and I will take that
yeah,
very happily.
yeah. Going with that one.
Yeah.
That's good. So what we want to focus on today is kind of that feeding off of each other in our writing, right? So there's a lot of overlap with kind of some of the other nerdy hobbies that are out there. One of them, obviously, is role-playing games, where whether it's tabletop or digital or whatever, you have this party of people that have hopefully a common goal, or at least are heading in the same direction. um, and well, you mentioned, or you brought up improv,
Yeah.
improv theater, obviously big feeding off of each other, but also the audience
And I like,
energy.
yeah, like a very lived version of what is basically simming, of like
Yep.
telling a story together and not really knowing the outcome when you go into something. Like
No,
you
we're
might get a sketch, a sketchy idea, but yeah.
yeah. And so you again, you're relatively new. What kind of stood out as a moment of, oh, this is something that I like. Like I like doing this, and I'm gonna stick around, and you know.
That's a good question. I think I quite like the freedom of it.
Hmm.
So like by background I am the tabletop in-game role-playing nerd. So like I like that kind of just show up and figure it out as we go along.
Right.
And simming has that, but it also has that kind of, it's almost like a kind of uh like a I like a it still has like the DM structure and the kind of like you're held within a world.
Hmm.
Um, so it's very easy space to play in and play with people. And also, I'll be honest, it's also a little bit the community. I think I landed in the right community at the right time. Because within like a few like just chatting on the Atlantis Discord in
Yeah.
particular, I was like, oh, I think I found my people.
My people.
I think I found my nerds.
Yeah.
Like I think they kind of it feels collaborative. It feels very easy. Um,
That's always super nice to
yeah,
hear. Yeah.
super nice, super easy to kind of, and it felt like everyone was just very enthusiastically just saying like, yeah, let's try it.
Yeah. Why not?
So that's always a great place to start.
Yeah. Atlanta is very much a big, player in the community, especially part of Obsidian Fleet. Been going for quite a while under, well, history, who definitely has cultivated kind of that welcoming and everyone,
Yeah, yeah.
play come play with us kind of
Yeah,
community. Not
it felt
yeah.
like someone was going, look, we've got a really fun little game
Yeah.
over here. Come on.
Good. Oh, come
We're
on.
gonna blow your mind. Let's go.
Yes. Let's do it. Right.
Yeah.
What was the biggest thing that you had to kind of get used to in this form of writing or playing?
Yeah, I think so. Because I'm used to formats where you have like it's immediate back and forward, and you can like you set aside time, and you're both there doing like that kind of
Right.
like straight away responding.
Yeah.
Um, and so getting used to like you might have noticed at the beginning I was like posting
Yeah.
like I was on it
Let's
every time because
do
I was
it.
like,
Yeah.
let's go. But that's just not as sustainable is what I've realized.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
And sometimes life has like other ideas.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um
Yeah.
so like now I've kind of got into that it's like, oh, it's okay if life kicks up a bit of a fuss, like we can like take our time, but also it giving myself time to actually think about what is it that the character would do in this moment rather than kind of being in like an immediate headspace, if that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um so I think
Rather
that was like
writing.
a big adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Writing
It's just a
about
bit
the
more
character rather than kind of having to be the character and then put that to paper.
that's exactly it. And I
Yeah.
think that gives you a kind of more considered approach.
Yeah.
It also feels like the language becomes more important in a
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Because you know,
You find yourself going back like, oh no, I can do that better, and then backspacing
yeah, yeah.
and
And I
putting it.
really had to like really be like careful not to kind of go back and like
Yeah, yeah,
re-edit like
yeah.
like the beginning of the post. Um
That's a difficult one, right? Because the
yeah,
other person has already responded to kind of what you were saying,
yeah.
and
And
going back and changing too much of it, like the small things, especially grammar, spelling fixes, is fine,
yeah.
but not the core kind of the.
You don't want to change the meaning of
No,
the thing.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that push pull between wanting it to be spontaneous and like immediate, because I think
yeah,
that always helps with creativity versus the wanting it to be perfect.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
And like I feel like the pursuit of perfection is death.
yes,
Like once you get into that trap, there's like
yeah,
that's where you end up
yeah.
in like a kind of down a cul-de-sac.
Done.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
oh, okay, no, this isn't gonna be entertaining for anyone.
So I think we're off to a great start. History is already crying. There's other
Oh.
people in in the chat. What I what we wanted to do, kind of also to kind of trigger that kind of trigger that? How do we respond to things, and how do you kind of get into the headspace of the character, and how do we make sure that that is also fresh and exciting? Because sometimes that's what you need, right? So, what we wanted to do is kind of from a improv theater type deal is ask the audience for some input. So
Yeah.
you're probably more versed with that than I am. So do you want to kind of kick that off? And we'll
Yeah,
get
well,
yeah
yeah, let's set it up. So basically step one for any kind of improv, and I think it's the same for writing a scene together, is you've got to make some choices and make some offers to people. So what we're interested in is in the who, and I think we're picking the characters that we have created, but
yeah
there's some choices there we can make.
yeah
There's the where, so where in the world, in these characters' worlds will they be? And then the what, which is the what game are we going to play? What conflict are we going to explore?
yeah
What problem are we going to solve together?
yeah. All right.
So yeah, let's should we maybe start with the who, because that will
Yeah,
then tell us where.
exactly. Yeah. Um, like Mick Jagger,
Yeah.
something like Mick Jagger, but Mick Jagger is not a character either of us wrote. So
No,
we basically have two choices.
not yet anyway.
We could Avalon. There we go. We can go X-Men, which we've
Yeah.
done in the past couple of iterations of this podcast. Well, I aim to misbehave, so I'm not going to behave because some Jess is here. So, hello, Jess. Welcome.
I also
Michael.
love the idea of Jess behaving, would be
Yeah.
novel.
That
Love
would be
you.
nice. Love you, but no.
Yeah.
So we could go with X-Men, where both of our characters are now on screen. Claire Cavendish would be mine, and Penny Gardner Miss. I keep tripping up on that. Like, is Miss part of the last name, or is that just
Oh, well, I just thought because like so that was actually like a joke. It's in terms like of like teachers, because it's always like Miss Gardner
right?
or
Okay,
or like, do you know. So no, it's not part of the name. It's
right.
just
So I got that wrong.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's okay.
It's okay.
We'll need to fix your character then in a bit, but we'll do that. Yeah, we'll fix it. And on the Atlantis, my main character is the Doctor, a Andorian, a woman, and your main character is, I know your main character is Mercy.
Ensign. Yeah, Mercy
Ensign
Morn.
Mercy Morn, which is it?
The clumsiest ensign
Human,
on
yes,
board. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely human.
Human. So yeah, first question for Andy. You're just in time for the first poll. So if Obsidian Fleet, if you can put up a poll for either X-Men or Star Trek,
Yeah.
and then run it for like a minute, as I will respond, because I saw Michael share an observation with us. It seems to me a lot of folks prefer to become the character approach as opposed to writing about the character approach. That's his observation.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think I would say yes. So Mikey is hi Mikey, Michael Fee,
Michael, yeah,
um, is someone who I also write with in like Star Wars RP.
right,
Um, and yes, hi Mikey. Yes, I definitely do prefer it. I think it depends on the person though. I think some people like the escapism of becoming a character. And I think some people like the intellectual exercise of thinking about their character separate from themselves.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
I tend to write female characters, which means that I can't really. Well, I might be able to, but I don't really kind of get
Yeah.
into character. Um,
Are you
Paul,
telling me you're not dressing up as an Andorian doctor at home when you're
I
writing?
paint
Because
I
it is
I paint
deeply
myself blue.
disappointing.
Yeah, paint myself
Walking around
blue.
with antennae
Yeah,
and a white wig.
yes, yes. Then if switch to X-Men, all that
Oh,
blue paint comes off, and then purple goes on.
purple on.
Yes, yeah. Yes, I play different colored women.
Yeah, yeah. One for each color of the rainbow.
Exactly. So I still need a couple more. Nikki, thank you
Yeah.
for coming along, and obviously also the stream is going to be put on the channel. So if you do come back, you can watch the rest of it. Everything that came after the introduction. All right. So right now we're at 70% X-Men, 75% X-Men, 25% Star Trek. Ooh, I do love a tiefling.
We
My
love a
my
tiefling.
tiefling character was also purple, by the way. So I'm
Yeah,
I don't know what you can read into that one, but you know.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go with X Men. You have Penny. I have Claire, but also other characters. I don't know what you would. Let's put that to you so that we don't have
Oh,
to
good
poll
question.
everything.
Yeah,
We just finished one with the chef.
we did. We just
Yeah.
done. So I would say not the chef.
Okay.
Let's go with a different character.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So you've got Claire. Who else have you got on your roster?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
You sure want to ask that? All right.
Asking
So
the DM which
yeah,
characters they have, it feels like uniquely cruel.
yeah. Can you see the uh,
Cast. Here we go.
picture? There we are. So this is
Yeah.
Claire. This is what you meant, Chris. I hope because he was asking for Avatar.
Oh, actually, do you know what? Let's go Claire because
All
I've
right.
got an idea.
Oh, there you go.
I've got an
Uh,
idea for the what.
ooh, interesting.
Ooh.
There we go. So it's a Penny Claire thingamajig. Do we want to do the what first then they can decide on the where.
So Penny has arrived at just as like a short summary for those
Mm.
watching. Penny has arrived at Avalon, and has started prepping her syllabus for the year as the drama teacher. And what she has done is she's identified a number of like revolutionary plays that I think most schools would be like, not sure you should be giving kids this. And I think there's an element of wanting to like just feel that out with the head teacher. So plays like Accidental Death of an Anarchist is one by Dario Fo, and then a few others about like prisons and basically social justice. I think she's
Right.
picking up on wanting
On
to
the
give
vibe.
the kids on the vibe. It felt very like fitting for the story currently,
Yeah.
wanting to give the kids a way of like expressing creatively the environment that they're in as like tension heats up between humans and mutants.
Yep. Curriculum. All right. So that's what we're gonna do. Um, so then the question is where. I would like some suggestions from the audience.
Ooh.
Ooh, we'll leave it at that.
Ooh.
So it is interesting because before you joined Avalon, before Penny in character joined Avalon, but also before you out of character joined Avalon, we had a festival
Oh.
at the end of the year. Uh, we have to drive all the way to Sunderland. Okay, that's not gonna
But also Scottish Highlands to Sunderland.
happen.
I mean, I know we're supposed to just say yes and
Yeah, we're supposed to say yes and accept like asterisks.
accept the other person's reality. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what was I saying? Yeah. So as part of that kind of cultural festival, the idea was you have a week kind of to prepare, and then on the Friday we would they'd open the doors and people could come in and have a good time basically. And one of the things that they did was perform from the musical Les Mis. Can you hear the people sing?
Yes.
Which it's kind of in line with
I think
this.
that's very in line.
Yeah. Anyway.
I can't. Yeah, it's in one of the. So Penny has gone to the library, kind of searching for
Yeah.
some example text.
We're
And
not getting any suggestions that we can work with at the moment. So could we have a suggestion that's within the school itself? That I
yeah,
think
yeah.
is kind of the requirement here. Um, anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
um, yeah, and it is, and I think plays in that kind of like Les Mis try kind of
Yeah.
like there is a like a very clear um and in all of them like a very clear like sort of prison like what is it like what's it like for people who are at the other end of this spectrum,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
think yeah, so it's an excellent
Yeah.
um
Actually,
lead in.
um, the suggestion is a storage room for costumes and sets. I think there might be just a like in the drama classroom,
Space, yeah, yeah.
kind of yeah, in the supply closet for the drama.
She's just feather boas and
Exactly.
top
Like yeah, surrounded by feather boas and top hats.
and top
I
hats,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
as a drama classroom storage unit. There we go. Right. Do we flip a coin on who gets to start?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, yeah. Let's
Yeah.
flip a
All
coin. I mean, I don't carry cash. I'm like the queen. It would be inappropriate for me to rattle. So you'll have to provide the
yeah.
money.
1 second.
Yeah.
I won't. Um, I won't flip a coin, but I have D&D dice, which are super
Oh, yeah, yeah. Odds or evens.
odds or evens. This is a D20 with a kraken's eye in it. Can you see that? It's a
Ooh.
floaty
I
kraken's eye.
Do you know why I love a sharp edged dice? I just
Yeah,
think
this
they
is
just
so
look,
nice. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But it feels
Nerding
like
out.
treasure.
We are both dice goblins. I can tell.
Yeah, yeah. I have a little chest. I keep mine in.
So odds or even
I'll take odds. Why not?
odds. I'll be even. It's a 15, so you get to start.
Okay, okay. So in our rules, make some choices, make an offer. So, oh, can I have the edit access?
Do you not?
No, I can view. If you go down, drop down the
Yeah,
share,
yeah, yeah.
and you should have an option to
I have it. I fixed it. Maybe you need to
amazing
refresh.
refresh. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Right. So let's think. Penny, she's newly arrived. No, let's. I noticed about my own writing. I often start a sentence with the name of my character, and I'm trying really hard to be more interesting and
Let's
less
not.
predictable.
yeah. So this is a
Uh,
bit odd, obviously, because if I talk to you, I'm going to distract
yeah,
you from writing.
I know, and I'm very easily distracted just as a person. Um, yeah, but talk
Just
away,
narrate.
like
No, but narrate
just
while you're
narrate.
writing,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's okay. Go as you would.
S- s-
I'm gonna need. Oh, I tell you what I could do from the audience is some like early 90s. Like I need a good like 1992, 1993 R&B song. So
R&B song.
yeah,
Ooh,
yeah. I think or like something upbeat and fun. Um,
I don't listen to R&B, so maybe the audience knows.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What's the closest that you get to R&B? It's like there's probably like
Hamilton.
yeah, yeah. No, it's not far off.
no, yeah.
Return of the Mac, perfect.
There we go. Thank you, Maconis. Awesome. Kiss from a Rose. Is that R&B? I know that song.
By Seal. I don't know.
Yeah,
I it's close enough.
it's one of those things. Or yeah, I would Google it, but I'm broadcasting my Google, so
You don't want to see people to see that search engine.
no, I'll just wait here. I
Yeah.
can I can Google it on my phone.
Uh,
but it can still exist because Batman can still be a fictional character within the Marvel universe. So there you go.
Mm.
We have decided, though, as a collective writing group, that Achy Breaky Heart does not exist. No,
There is no Billy Ray Cyrus.
no. Billy Ray Cyrus got killed in the Night of the Sentinels.
Yeah. Which implies that he would have been a mutant.
No. It was collateral
No?
damage.
Oh, okay. Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get like a hero's death. He's
No.
just cold.
So something just dropped on his head. No, Miley Cyrus still exists, but she's not a singer. Was Miley Cyrus already born? God, you're making me Google all this stuff.
Good question. I have a horrible feeling she might be younger than me, in which case she probably wasn't born. Um,
Yeah, she will have been born in 1992.
ooh,
Night of the Sentinels was end of year 1992, so her mother would have already been knocked up by Billy Ray Cyrus before he died.
I did
My,
not think that this is where this is where the podcast was going.
this is. I don't know if you've seen the shorts, but last time I googled whether or not Pretty Woman was about a prostitute.
I did. It was the disappointed sigh where you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh
not a
no,
prostitute.
not a prostitute. No, it was not
um,
Notting Hill. Sorry, never mind. I mixed them up again, but the other way around now. Here we go.
Also, I've just realised this is the other thing that I fall prey to in swimming. When you said what's the hardest thing to get rid of? Tenses.
Oh
Writing in
yeah,
the past tense.
past tense. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, let's keep it short and sweet. I'll go with that for my first.
Cool.
There we go. Yeah. I don't know if top hat's one word. I have a feeling it is. Yeah.
I always kind of like in Dutch, you glue all the words together. It's like
Yeah.
German. So kind of my go-to rule of thumb is that in English, none of it's together, and then I'm usually good.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. All right. So, sound of return to the Mac drifting from the supply closet at the back of the drama classroom. So normally you would write this, you would save it. I get a message saying, "Hey, Penny has updated her story. Can I have a quick look? Return to the Mac. Yay! You're singing along. I'm off key. Ooh,
Fully off key.
awesome. All
It's
right.
the kind of singing you sing, when you're on your own. Who's trying to maintain a key? Show off. That's who.
Thanks.
Oh, do you? Are you? You're giving it your all.
Yeah, I try to just to
Oh.
use it as practice. To be fair. Serious art teachers came dancing from inside the classes with a top hat on. It's like, is this the
Oh, I
yeah.
think it's fully like, but it's Return of the Mac. So
Yeah.
it's like Turn off the Mac. Da, 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 leg kicks out. Hang on.
Adding that. I have like with this tense thing, I have the biggest problem. I have a character that's non-binary. I have the biggest problem of they theming.
Yeah, hard. But just like in real life, just correct yourself.
Yeah. The good thing is
Apologize and move on.
as long as I don't hit save,
Yeah,
no one
yeah.
sees it. So yeah.
um, uh, talk about making an offer. There we go.
Hey, there you go. So I need to be in this scene, otherwise there's not gonna happen anything. Nothing is gonna happen. Sorry.
So am I allowed to talk while you
Yeah,
type?
yeah,
Is
yeah.
that gonna be distracting for you? Great. So
It
I'm
is
just
gonna
gonna
be
like
distracting to me, but it's fine.
That's okay. Otherwise it's gonna be a really quiet. We're just here
Uh,
tapping away, having a
yeah, it's
nice
good.
time writing.
But to be fair, that's
Yeah,
my preferred Wednesday evening.
yeah. I won't take that personally, the fact that you prefer to do that without talking to me, it's fine. Um, but no, I was just gonna kind of break it down like meta-wise. So I like trying to be helpful, obviously I'm no expert, but I think there is something in like when you're making an offer to someone, like setting your writing partner up for like success, like giving them openings and opportunities. But then as we were prepping for this, we were like pulled out some like there were like some like 4 rules that you kind of give all new improv people. And one of them is like make choices and offer them up. So that's the who, what, where. Step 2 is just accepting each other's reality. So that's like however you step onto the stage, or in this case, like you're typing into the chat. You kind of just accept a situation for at face value and don't try and dismantle it. I think in simming, this can be because you're also handling a law. So there is a fine line between like making sure that you're keeping everyone within the law and within the world, and also making sure that you're being open for offers. So I was like trying to think of like actually sometimes in improv you would say like never negate someone's like whatever they say on stage. Don't negate it, just say yes and. In simming, sometimes you might want to be like, yes, and have you thought about this little bit of law that means that that wouldn't be possible? So there's kind of like I think there's a more careful line that you walk when you're doing this kind of writing. Um, and then the next one is like staying present in the scene. So this is like I've given an offer to Emu of like this is how we're going to start, but if Emu comes in and completely changes tact, that's okay. Like I'm not trying to like lead him into a particular conversation, um, or like yeah force a particular outcome. It's just about being present and enjoying whatever it comes back to you.
Yeah.
um
Or just go nah and post.
or just be like
Eh,
done now.
done. Post.
Yeah,
I do sometimes feel like that because when I see a really good line basically to end on, I'm like,
yeah.
okay, we're done.
Yeah.
and I
Totally.
usually send a message that's saying, hey, is there anything else that you wanted to cover in this post? Is there something, that we needed to do? Because I really like that as an ending. And
Yeah,
usually people go, yeah, sure, why
that's
not?
good. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes you see something, like I can't top that, why would I
No.
try? Like this
Yeah.
is the ending.
And
Yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Yeah.
um
All right, I gave a response, and I'm trying to keep
mm,
it a bit more concise. So normally maybe we are a bit more elaborate, but I think the back and forth is a bit more
yeah.
fun here.
And we're here looking at dialogue, so that
Exactly.
makes
Yeah.
topical sense.
Nice.
um Nice. So a soft single person applause greeted her from the doorframe as the headmistress had seemingly appeared out of nowhere. Love that. Fully possible with Claire.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, yeah. She could be facing the door. She might be facing somewhere else. We don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um, object in the near distance, Claire offered after seeing a spin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, I love that.
Kind of felt
has,
in
has
character.
has Claire done ballet? Does she know how to spot?
Yeah, she's like a classically trained dancer. She did
Perfect.
for a uh like in the first chapter we did an open mic night and she did the scene from Flashdance.
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, iconic. I'm picturing that, but much more Technicolor because she's purple, and I'm expecting like everything
obviously,
in her world to be more colorful.
obviously. Yeah. There's some things coming in, so I'm gonna try and respond to that while not distracting you.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's okay. I'll
um,
zone out.
I will not sing on stream. That's first question asked and answered. Your favorite kind of scenario to write? So I think any kind of scenario you need a bit of conflict to keep things going. I really like. Okay, so this is answering the opposite question of what I don't like to write. I don't really like to write scenarios where just two people sitting around a coffee table, enjoying tea. um, so basically, anything that means something to either character. Um, Wayne Brady does a really good TED Talk style discussion about improv. Worth looking up. Good shout. We'll have a look at that and maybe share a link in the description after we post this up. Like and subscribe. Challenge I have with Nova versus Forum. On a forum, you can keep one interactions going, as long as you like, and it's public. In Nova, you have to come to a definitive end. So I'm actually on the opposite end of that. What I really like is to craft a compelling kind of narrative arc within that single post, whether that's solo or with two people, and or three people. Like once it gets bigger than three people, I have my problems with that as well. But anyway, I digress. The um, the way that we come to that, and then both feel this was awesome. This was something that we wanted to share, and then being able to just put that out there when it's done, I think for me is much more satisfying. The um, the fact that we're now doing this live and people are looking along, I can sense that it has an effect, right, on what you're writing, how you're writing, and kind of that. I feel like I do feel like that when on a forum, right? Is that people can continuously see kind of the paragraphs that you're posting up, making it also again more difficult to go back and say, okay, I just want to tweak this a bit and just add this, that sort of thing. The Jonathan Clare debate on registration was a lot of fun to write. Definitely, like every kind of that was a high stakes actually kind of conflict where the view of Claire was kind of diametrically opposed to Jonathan's, and she still wants to be like a good head teacher, good friend. There's kind of, aside from the outward conflict between the two characters, there's definitely inward conflict to both characters as well, of conflicting loyalties, conflicting kind of friendships, and all that sort of stuff. Christopher can't see the writing. That's fine. This pot did. This stream is called Let's Write, but you can listen. You can
What's
listen
that,
along.
Sunny?
I'm sorry. Can you speak up? Can you speak up? I don't have my glasses
The
on.
old eyes can't quite make it out. Sorry, this is a joke from earlier when we were
Yeah.
talking about being able to have big writing.
Boomboxes. It's Let's Write, not read. You're not wrong. This is ASMR for Chris. Yeah. Actually, you were saying that you also have a mechanical keyboard. That you were
I
afraid
do.
that it would clickety clack, but I don't hear it at all. I
Do you
think
not? Oh, this is
no.
good.
I do think they hear mine quite
Yeah,
loudly.
yeah. I am trying to soften because I am also like normally, so I'm trying to be like dainty. I'm a dainty lady.
They were very appreciative of the loud clacking writing.
Oh,
So
gets you through. Chris is saying it
yeah,
gets
there
him
you
through the
go.
day. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
All right. So is that you? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I'm happy with that.
I was waiting for you. I don't know if you see the stream itself. I was waiting for you to finish the sentence that you were on, but it's the end of the page, so I don't see it.
Oh yeah. Wow, she's been on then for a long time.
Yeah. Well, am I distracting her too much? All right.
No.
So Penny made a strange strangled noise. Stumbled back into the
Oh.
closet. Oh no. Um, her face had flushed vibrant red, and she slammed her hand down on the boombox. One word. apparently.
One word.
One word, cutting the sound of the radio off. Of all the times for your boss to walk in. So you had to choose this one. This was definitely one. Yeah. Coming back
Yeah.
out of the closet. Nice. Coming out of the closet. She cleared her throat, opened her mouth to speak, then realized she had her hat on. She took it off, hid it behind her back, like a naughty school child. Headmistress Cavendish. Nice. She actually, Claire hates being called the headmistress, and her
Oh, does she?
official,
Amazing.
her official job title is head teacher, but everyone continuously insists on calling her headmistress, which
I think Penny has been calling her that from the moment they've met. So
but
it's
basically everyone is So headmistress Cavendish, apologies, I thought I was alone. You definitely were not. Just a woman in, stooping down to grab the discarded feather boa. Yeah. I was hoping to share a few of the plays I've been thinking of for the syllabus. Awesome. All right.
it's inevitable. Thank you very much for the horse puns from Chris.
No, Chris, stop it.
Fighting the fight for the for the dad jokes to the end, the bitter end.
Can we have a moderator, right? Can they put him on timeout?
Yeah. I think if we had to moderate every time someone made a bad joke, we'd have no audience.
No audience, zero audience.
Zero audience, and we'd have less fun.
True.
Oh, it's okay, but
Thank
the
you.
slaps have been administered.
There we go. There we go.
It is a lot of work. Trot on. Oh, Jess, no.
Thank you.
Betrayed by my own other half.
Claire nodded at that. Would I say theatrical plays? No. Theater?
Plays, I think.
Just plays.
Yeah.
I sometimes I struggle with kind of Claire's voice because she's posh. I'm like, oh, what would she say?
I mean, probably, yeah, you could say.
With theater.
Yeah. I'm not too much familiar with theatre in general. I'm also watching something unfold in the chat that I've been wanting to see for a while, which is Chris and Jess meeting, because I'm convinced that they are they're very similar. And
I don't know what that says about either of them, but you know.
Yeah. No, it says I adore them both.
Oh, there. Well, there you go.
There you go. I only want to marry one of them though, but you have to decide who. Chris has also said she's posh and from a stable background.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very nice.
I chose to ignore it.
And yes, of course, Paul, thank you for noticing. I almost wore a pink top as well, but then when I was making dinner, I spilt dinner down it. So I thought I'm gonna have to go for it. I have to change my top and it won't match my headphones anymore.
Yeah, Molly would have issues if you wanted to marry Chris. I think also the British government would have issues with someone marrying two women.
Yeah. I think so. These are my real ears, but they just come out of the side of my head. And I've also just realised that is what ears do anyway, so that doesn't actually make any sense. As you were.
But thanks. Yeah.
Molly would be happy to get rid of me. That's true. Well, you do know how to weld, so I feel like you would fit in with the DIY community.
So this is where my non-native kicks in.
Yeah. What 5 words smashed into one are you trying to translate into English?
Exactly. Yeah. Schadenfreude. No.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we have that one.
Yeah, but it's just Schadenfreude.
He's just Schadenfreude, yeah. We thought that one's
um,
good. That can stay.
yeah. Um, uh, God, I don't want to say you have to excuse my. What I want to say is you'll have to fudge.
Oh, if you're writing with an American, do you compromise on the spelling? I never compromise on anything, Christopher.
I don't like. I do occasionally kind of correct spelling, but if someone is American writing kind of that, then I will not correct that into British English.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. But I would never.
Yeah,
I'd, I'd,
sorry.
n- I'd never drop the U from color.
I go back, add all the U's to armor, color,
Yeah,
harbor.
yeah.
Can't have that. um, pardon my ignorance on the topic.
Yeah.
There
I
we
think the thing about for me, the thing about language, and I think I've written with a lot of Americans and a lot of non-native speakers, and what I have come to kind of appreciate is that the most important thing about language is being understood. If you, as long as you can understand someone, I try not to correct people, um, and also my own spelling is not great, so I feel like I'd be throwing stones at a very, very fragile glass house. And that's even if I'm trying to like spell in English. Um, so yeah, Andy, I
go.
appreciate that. It's difficult not to go through and correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
but here we are. I can hear a dog barking. Do you mind if I let him in the room, or is that
Yeah, that's fine.
are we
Yeah.
dog friendly?
Yeah,
Okay, two
we're
seconds.
distracted enough as it is, so
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, might as
Why
well
not
bring the
embrace?
dog in. Yeah. We
Hey.
steal liberty from all other languages. I think that's kind of how language works. But yeah, especially
Yeah,
true for I think English is doing a lot of that lately.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. Um, yeah, I was about to say you can't let him into the room and then not show on camera.
It's okay because what he'll want is to come and sit on the desk. He's got a little cushion up here
Ah, nice.
that he sits on. So
Dog
there we
tags
go.
for everyone. There we go. Awesome.
The angry fur child.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Um, and set. Would like this is the drama room? Would there be desks? No, right?
No. So I think there might be chairs,
Right.
um, and probably like some sort of area that's been cleared for like a black box theatre. So like a theatre that goes flat onto the floor that has like areas.
Ah,
Okay. We don't need to hear dog licking ASMR. That's a step too far for everyone.
yes, please lick the microphone.
The dog tax. I mean, I could, but I won't. No, I won't. It's so gross. Admittedly, English is three dialects in a trench coat that attacks nice languages and alleys and rifles with pockets for loose grammar.
I
Yeah, that
like
sounds
that.
about right.
Yeah. Seriously, I don't want to blow.
And yes, it is the angry fur child. I mean, on the keyboard is not gonna. Let's write, and none of it will make sense because it's been fucked
Blah.
by a dog.
Blah.
Yeah.
Mm, there we are.
1066 English is the result of Norman Lord trying to proposition a Saxon barmaid. Yeah, pretty much. I also find it that it is just like random English facts on like a side tangent. I always find it fascinating the way that animals in the field, as in animals when they're with farmers and the working class, all old Saxon words, when they get to the table for the nobles, that's when we use the French. So it's like cow versus bœuf, beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, pig versus pork.
That's actually
Yeah,
that's
I
funny.
find yeah, I find it
That's
interesting.
not, yeah, that
There we
is
go.
interesting.
It tells the history of Norman
Meat,
invasion. Yeah, and meat.
the
Uh,
meats.
meat. Claire nodded at that. I can't say I'm too familiar with theatre, aside from. Oh, hang on, no, she's posh. I
Yeah,
can't say I'm too familiar with theatre, aside from the occasional dalliance into musical theatre. So you'll have to pardon my ignorance on the topic. She made her way into the classroom and sat herself on a black boxes used to abstract environment. Oh, we love that. Yes, you got to have a like MDF black
yeah.
box, right? Yeah, for sure.
It was built like okay, so it was built by Cameron.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, nice. The head teacher pulled one leg over the other and placed, oh, it's corrected as I'm reading it. I like that. And placed both her hands on her knee, waiting for Penny to introduce the plays she had in mind. Great. Okay, Eddie over there. Oh,
Eddie, step aside.
yeah. Hold my beer.
Yeah.
um,
So we're having a write in with a side order of English literary history. Or is that literary history? When we're talking about language,
English
linguistics,
language, linguistic
linguistics.
history. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We still use bairn as for child. Bairn? Is it because they were born in barns?
Bairn. That's an old
Ban.
Scottish word. A bairn.
A bairn.
But that's a word that you wouldn't hear down south very often.
Down
So
south.
down south,
Down
not a
south.
thing. Don't have bairns. We've got kids, didn't we?
We talk about kids in it.
Yeah. Youths.
Youths. The youths of today. Down south.
Yeah.
Yeah. We could talk again about silly accents. Not that yours is silly, but like mine. My
It's
appropriation of the
kind of.
accents are silly.
Oh, that's ironic because as we talk about accents, my T stops working
There
just
you
now.
go.
Because if I try to type bottle of water,
Bottle.
bottle.
It's a bottle in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, like, so writing accents in character um, is tough. I think always because you want to always kind of strike that balance between conveying the tone and conveying kind of the dialect or accent without making it bloody unreadable. Um, I tried in my last post to introduce a bit of Scottish into the proceedings, but I honestly used ChatGPT to kind of smooth things out there because I know kind of some of these things, but I'm not Scottish, so you know. So anything that's wrong with that particular post, you can blame ChatGPT. We had a Cockney and Dorian on Athena. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Yeah, if I want Scottish, I'll just go with how would Scotty say it and do that. Unfortunately, Scotty wasn't Scottish. So there you go. But I think like the one thing that I always think of when thinking about Scottish accents in writing is the "We Free Men" from Discworld, um,
Yeah.
and that is bloody unreadable unless you read it out loud. Like that's the only way I know what the We Free Men say is by sounding it out. It's too much of it. Yeah.
Oh God, how do I spell curriculum? Curriculum.
With a U double R. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you, Google. I have always struggled with accents, writing them, and I just a long time ago just thought, yeah, I don't think I can. I've tried. I've seen other people do it really well, and it's always made me want to try and do it more. But it's
Accents.
yeah, just trying to like convey it without I either swing too far in or I then forget that I was supposed to be doing an accent
Yeah.
halfway through and it just
Yeah.
go like reverts back to just written English. Um
I cannot do it, Captain. I'm giving it all she's got. Yeah. The accent thing, I think, for especially like the chef is French, for example. Um, most of it is just saying he said with his French lilt or something along those lines. And then for French, removing all of the H's at the start of words. I think
yeah.
that is 90% of my French accent in writing.
I think your French accent's pretty good in the writing, I have to say. It made me, as I was
Thanks.
reading it, kind of slip into one. Oh,
I had to play a Scotsman in a stage play once because the girl playing my daughter was Scottish and it was easier for me to change my accent. Eh, that's a good solution, I think. Yes, and.
mm,
Shakespeare. Always makes me think about the character from Stardust. Shakespeare. Sorry.
Shakespeare. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also plays with the boa in a cupboard and gets caught.
Right, yeah. True,
Yeah.
true, yeah.
um,
All the best pirate captains do that. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
there you go. Fell into the same trap again. I was like, Phoebe's still writing. End of the
um,
line.
uh,
Your tea is really
my tea's really. I told you it's just yeah. Here we go. Yeah, it's working against me. It's that old glottal stop.
glottal. It's a perfect word for it as well. Glottal. All right. Having a moment. Oh, she's having a moment.
Having a moment, right? Eddie's now wanting to. Oh no, he's good. He's left the room
All
now.
right. Bye, Eddie.
He's done a breakout.
He's
I
having a
didn't
moment.
realise this wasn't going to be all about me, so I'm lost interest.
This is no longer interesting to me.
Yeah, I thought we were all going to talk about me all day.
Having had a moment to gather her thoughts, she grabbed a box and tucked it over to sit near Claire. So we're now on our own individual boxes. You need to loop the switches.
Okay, well, there's a proposition I didn't think was going to happen.
No. Okay, sorry. I wanted to make a comment about
Yeah,
switching,
yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, I'm not gonna.
yeah. Save that for the current affairs chat.
Yeah, this the Let's Right After Dark
Yeah, yeah,
stream.
yeah.
Okay, I need to gather my thoughts. Pulled out her list. It's a very good list. The one she had taken to the library and offered to the other woman. A lot of the plays are standard. Shakespeare and his contemporaries like Johnson for the farces. You'll see near the bottom, well, some more conservative curriculums would have been banned. That sentence. Sorry, that didn't compute in my head.
Yeah.
Some of the
Or some more
right, yeah,
conservative would have
yeah,
banned them.
yeah,
That's why. It's because it
yeah.
doesn't make sense.
It wasn't me then.
Yeah, no, no, no. It was
So
definitely me.
when I read something like that, my first thing always has to be, okay, is this because I don't understand English?
I love that
Or
you go to it's probably me, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you're writing with me, it's probably
I don't
probably
know.
this guy.
No. Two thumbs and probably made a grammatical mistake. This guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Five plays would like to teach them. Justice by John Galsworthy. Joan Littlewood's version of Brecht's Mother's Courage and Her Children. Defoe's final version of Accidental Death, Anarchist. Faith Healer. So, in your opinion,
Yes.
which of these plays would a aristocrat hippie know?
Oh, great question. So I think they're very unlikely to know anything by Brian Friel.
All right,
Or so they won't know Brian Friel, they won't know the Borstal Boy. They almost certain I think she would know John Galsworthy, so he's a Victorian playwright,
right,
and I think would probably feature in a classical education.
right.
Uh, I think Joan Littlewood, Mother Courage and Her Children. Brecht is quite classic,
So
creative.
she
Like,
would probably know the Brecht's version then.
yeah, and I think there's some kind of crossover because Brecht is very physical theatre and the kind of exposing your I was going to say exposing your behind, but what I mean is exposing the backstage to the audience. So I think that would maybe translate into a dance education as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dario Fo's Accidental Death of an Anarchist.
I think she would have known that from the title alone. I guess.
Yeah.
I think
I
she'd
think,
be
and also I
interested.
think if she strikes me as someone who's a little bit bohemian, like she's a classic bohème, right? So she's aristocratic, but she's probably hung out with some very cool anarchist types
Yeah.
and
In
like
a
poets and shit. I
yeah,
think
yeah,
she'll know that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. So not Borstal.
But I don't think Faith Healer by Brian Friel
Right. Not
and
that one.
Borstal Boy probably not because they're both Irish plays and they're not kind of considered
She'll
like
not.
high theatre.
Yeah, she'll not know them
Yeah.
because of the troubles.
Because of the troubles and this is the 90s as
Yeah.
well. Um I did have to go back and check when all of these plays were written and when they were first like produced, just to make sure I wasn't
Ahead of
introducing
your time.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think our musical teacher has this. Our music teacher has pretty much the same issue. Like
Yeah, yeah. It's hard when
constantly.
you're dealing with
Yeah.
culture. You're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
when did Brendan Behan write Borstal Boy, and
Yeah.
when was it adapted?
Looking over the list. Real. Uh,
Oh, always Eddie, but when the when the snack urge hits, yeah,
yeah.
we love. Yeah, gotta have a
Same
snack.
for
Oh,
me. Um,
fully.
honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I accidentally ate like accidentally, fully on purpose, ate 3 packets of crisps yesterday, just like
it's an
because I
accident.
wasn't. Yeah, it was a snack accident.
Do you not
um,
call it that? I do.
No, I've
I
never
do.
heard that before, but
No,
I'm fully
adopting it now.
stealing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's now in my vernacular.
I had a snack accident. It's something that
Yeah, yeah.
I sometimes say.
And it is always good to be prepared. Yes,
Yeah.
Jess. Grease the musical, Book of Mormon. Book of Mormon wouldn't be Book of Mormon not yet existent.
No, wouldn't be out for another 30
In
years, I don't
Avalon.
think. Yeah.
Grease the musical.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She will have seen that
Like,
because she's a bit of a cinephile as well. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Lion King. I think Lion King's a thing.
Yeah, just about.
Mm,
Like the animated one.
Or yeah, I think it would have to be the animated one.
Yeah, yeah,
Definitely not the
not the
stage
stage
play.
musical. I'm
But
outing
also,
myself here as someone that knows stage musicals.
I mean, you started off by so Les Mis.
Yeah, true. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
But
guilty.
I also love, also Hamlet is basically that's what The Lion
Yeah,
King's based on, and
true.
its
Yeah,
working title, random Disney fact, was Bamblet, because they
Bamlet.
just had released
Bambi,
Bambi,
Hamlet.
and it had huge box office success. So they were like, we want Bambi, but Hamlet, so Bamblet, and then
Bamlet.
that's what The
Brilliant.
Lion King became. So yeah.
So, which of Shakespeare's plays would be on it? Not all of them, right? Or
I think all of them. I think we probably have to go with the classics. So you probably have like Romeo and
Midsummer.
Juliet, Midsummer Night's Dream, Twelfth Night, maybe Much Ado About Nothing, probably Hamlet or Macbeth. Definitely Macbeth.
Macbeth.
Scottish Highlands.
Definitely
Definitely
Macbeth.
Macbeth.
Particularly appreciating
Titus Andronicus. I feel
inclusion.
like Titus Andronicus is not something that gets taught to secondary school kids in the UK. I didn't read or
Othello.
do. Othello is a good one.
Yeah.
I have a theory that only Shakespeare plays with really good film adaptations make it onto the English curriculum, so that it
It's
allows
easier to,
teachers to
yeah.
put on a DVD and
Yeah,
sit
okay.
down.
Yeah, fair, fair. Um, the tragedy of Julius Caesar, Anthony, and Cleopatra.
Yeah.
Sorry. Looking over the list real quick, Claire immediately recognized some of the plays, particularly appreciating the inclusion of Macbeth. There was a smirk and a nod. Who familiar with Friel or
Yeah, Taming of the Shrew, 10 Things I Hate About You. That's
Behan
another.
Friel?
There's also She's All That is also based on a Shakespeare play, and I can't remember which one now.
It's
Oh no,
kind
it's
of
not based on. It's based on Pygmalion, which is uh, God, what was the version that they did with Audrey Hepburn? The film. Come on, help me out, chat. Pygmalion. Oh no, I'm losing. I'm losing. My Fair Lady. Thank you very much, Andy. Yes, She's All That is My Fair Lady redressed.
like
She's the Man
honestly,
is Twelfth Night. Yes, it is, Paul.
there is a lot of Romeo and Juliet kind of rejiggers.
For sure. I mean, Romeo and Juliet was a rejigged, so it was a novel originally,
Hmm.
and then made into an opera. So it wasn't, I forget what they call it when it's like the operatic um, script that sits behind the the actual music. And then yeah, Shakespeare based, and actually Shakespeare, a lot of his plays are brushed up versions of other writers of his time, because he started off writing like fixing plays for people. So people would be like, "This is a really great idea, but the language is terrible." Shakespeare, like, "Oh, Bill, can you come along and just brush up the language for us and make something classic?"
Come on, Bill.
Yeah, "Hey, Bill, so I've got
Yeah,
this really great play.
yeah.
Can you just brush it up for us, make it a bit more fancy?"
Let me have a look at
Um,
that. That's what he
yeah,
said. That's what he
yeah.
said in that
So he
accent.
did. It's like
Yeah.
Romeo
Well,
and Juliet is one of those rehashes that he
yeah.
did, and I think it's the
Yeah.
same for Midsummer Night's Dream.
Let me get
And then
out the red
people,
quill and just
yeah, yeah, and just be like,
yeah.
"Oh no, let's
No,
cut that
no.
scene." Um, yeah, but that was really common practice because, like companies would take bits of theatre on tour for like a year around the country, and it would change and then come back and the script would be different. So very common. It's why you get different versions of um, Hamlet and things. And like in Macbeth, there's a really controversial Hecate. I'm going into like full theatre nerd now. Sorry. But there's like a
We threw
whole
in like a penny for your thoughts. Yeah.
yeah. Ironic with the character we're writing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, literally a penny for your thoughts. But yeah, like there's a whole scene with Hecate, the queen of the witches, and some Shakespeare scholars don't think that was written by Shakespeare at all, so they just don't include it in certain versions of the script. And then other people think, oh well, even if Shakespeare didn't write it, it's still fun to have Queen of the Witches in, so let's just throw it in there. But yeah, so there we go. That's my Shakespeare facts done. You can all
Awesome.
tune
We can
back in
all,
for the
yeah.
more interesting,
I don't know if it's more interesting, but
more relevant.
more in line with the actual
Yeah, yeah.
topic of the thing. All right. So immediately recognize someone plays on the list, particularly smirking or not. I'm not familiar with Feel a Behan. And there we go.
Mm,
Yeah, I'm a bit on the shorter side with my tags at the
yeah,
moment,
yeah.
but that's because of the setting as well, I think. Like Macbeth, the Snyder cut. I think I saw Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet. Is that? I did like that one, but it's like all of these plays are quite long. And Penny's gonna be sassy. Oh, less sassy.
But let's soften that a little bit. She's talking
Yeah,
to her boss, and she
yeah.
is still very new. She's probably still on probation as
Yeah, I
well.
was about to
Yeah,
say
yeah, yeah,
still
yeah.
probation. To be fair, I think Claire is she's a good soul, but a piss poor administrator. Everyone can just
Yeah,
come in
yeah.
and teach her kids. You don't care.
Um,
Death
what am
of an
I? Oh,
Anarchist is about the snuggles.
about the snuggles. Did I read snuggles?
No,
Oh,
struggles.
shrug. Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
It's that
so
damn
close.
tea.
Yeah, yeah.
um. Oh Lord, who was it? Dario Fo. So I think that is Mussolini. Hang on, let me check. I need to fact check.
Penny would know this.
I know, but I'm not Penny. This is the problem when
No,
you try and write a character
yeah.
cleverer than yourself.
I mean, I play an Andorian doctor on a Star Trek
Yeah.
ship. I know the snuggle.
Snuggle. Yeah, it is Mussolini. Okay, good. I was
There we
right.
go. I think Penny should talk about the benefits of the Mutant Registration Act, is what
Yeah,
Chris
yeah.
said.
Here's a question: is Mussolini alive, or did Mussolini? Was there fascism in Italy during the Second World War? The Second World War does happen in this
Yes,
time
yeah,
frame,
because
doesn't it?
Magneto is a
Oh yeah, of
survivor
course. Yeah,
of the
yeah,
Holocaust. Yeah, yeah, and Wolverine is in both wars.
yeah. True. And the American Civil War, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
been here all along.
He's been there all along.
Yeah, Captain America is canon, like in the X-Men series, yeah, as well.
Mm,
Not sure if Korea has to happen in the animated series, though. I don't know if the Juggernaut kind of origin of his powers ever get explained in the animated series. Either way, like the big kind of events, we don't kind of stray away from. Also, they're not hugely relevant for what we're writing, but yeah. It's definitely not kind of the 1602 continuity where, like, in the 1600s there's mutants and all that. There are, but it's different, I guess.
Mm.
In this world, David Hasselhoff sang on the Berlin Wall. Imagine that.
I think David Hasselhoff would be a mutant if we're
Would
pitching
he?
celebrities for,
Would he?
but like yeah, for sure. But I think he'd have a power that is almost entirely useless. For sure.
He could smell water.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
um,
In the last post, there was some conjecture about who would be um mutants,
who's mutant? Yeah,
especially
yeah.
from the UK, and I think David Bowie got uh, mentioned.
I mean,
Uh,
we already know he's a star child, so
exactly. Yeah.
I don't even think he's like a an Earth mutant.
No. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And Boy George.
Yeah, Boy George.
Yeah.
Mm. Oh, so we're thinking like glam rock.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
those are the most obvious ones. I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cher.
Cher has to have some sort of ability to steal the youth from people
Yeah.
because she's looked the same for 40 years.
Eons.
I think she might be a mutant in our timeline.
Yeah. Bowie's definitely a mutant. Yeah.
Definitely,
Alien.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I think we can all agree Bowie's for sure a
Yeah.
mutant.
An alien mutant. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I'm done with that one. I also think maybe someone like I'm thinking of like famous boxers as well. I think there's a
Like
like
not Muhammad Ali, but like the guy that he fought in Rumble in the Jungle. What was his
yeah.
name?
If Mikey's still in the chat, Mikey, help us out.
There we go. All four of the Beatles had charisma affecting psychic mutations, but then Yoko Ono had
I don't think, and also
nullifying powers.
I don't think it's all four of the Beatles because
No.
I
Have you,
don't think that's in Ringo's gift.
I
Who is
was
one of
about to say, have you seen Ringo?
yeah, yeah. I feel like Ringo is like the one non-mutant in the Beatles.
I think yes.
George Foreman, unnatural grilling abilities.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm okay with that one. Yeah. Ringo
Ringo
started
Starr
Thomas
did
the Tank.
yeah, he did do Thomas the Tank. He did the
That's
best
nice.
Thomas the Tank Engine, the definitive. Right, I think I'm done.
Sorry, we were
Back to
just
you. Yeah,
riffing on
yeah.
who's
Now we're just like
who's
riffing on which
yeah.
celebrities.
The
Yeah.
Queen also is a mutant.
Well, she's a lizard person, so that obviously.
Yeah.
Have you heard that like conspiracy theory?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So I think that makes sense for her to be kind
Mutant.
of a toad-esque
Yeah.
lizard
Yeah.
woman.
You know what happens to
Yeah.
a
Why do
toad
you
if
think
it
she's
gets
always wearing gloves?
Yeah, yeah, there you
To hide her claws.
go. Exactly. Always. I
The
love
best.
I love the Christmas address where she had like this bright green thing on and they just photoshopped
Oh,
everything over it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She's wearing a
Um,
green screen.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Someone miscalculated that.
Yeah. Dolly
Dolly
Parton?
Parton. Dolly Parton would be a mutant.
Why though? I don't
Oh,
know.
because she's fabulous. She's perfect and I
No,
love
I
her.
I know, but I mean, she can just be a fabulous human. She'd definitely be pro mutant.
Ye Oh, for sure she'd be pro mutant. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Voice of an angel, power to steal
yeah.
our hearts. Yes.
There you go. Uh,
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because I think we're all associating they
mu-
must be a mutant if they have some sort of fabulous camp
exactly.
iconness.
Yeah.
But, like, what about the really boring mutants who just pass under the wire? Like, where's, Steve from Facilities?
Steve, just cleaning.
He's just, he's cleaning, but he's super fast.
Yeah. not super fast, just like above average fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Penny tilted her head and thought for a moment. Well, when do we teach children about the Second World War? When do we teach children about the Second World War? That starts for us, like in the Netherlands, it starts around 10.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll probably be about the same here.
No.
Maybe a little bit later. Cherry
Uh,
on my pan.
yeah, well, like England wasn't occupied, obviously, so that's
No,
probably there's
that's
a bit of
true.
delay in teaching that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
When is there Death of an Anarchist is about the struggles in Mussolini's Italy. I think it, if handled carefully, it is important for children to consider how art response to social context is created in. Oh man, you immediately got Claire with that one.
Yeah, yeah. Penny's been mulling over this argument, ready to.
Yeah, yeah. Sow the seeds of more fear. Awesome.
We get sent down the mines at 10 up north. Yeah, yeah. What is
Right.
school?
Yeah. you need to go there up the hill in the snow, right? And
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
It's
is that Yorkshire thing?
Yorkshire Moors.
Yeah.
Trouble up Mill. It's like that old Monty Python sketch.
Yeah, that's what I was
Down the mines. Oh,
down
you were lucky to be down the
the
mines.
mines. Exactly. Yeah.
We got a box. And
Oh,
on
you're
Sunday
lucky
a
to get a
newspaper.
box.
Yeah.
Lucky to get a box. We got a stick.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
We could only look at the box on Christmas Day.
horrible. All right, so
Sorry, Graham.
no, no, it's fine. So the seeds of warfare. Yeah, we might want to trickle these more layered plays in later years. Necessary.
Hmm?
Necessary.
Necessary.
Necessary. That's how I hear
I imagine she
necessary.
says it.
Necessary.
Necessary.
Provide them with the necessary
Yeah.
context.
Back in day.
Back in day.
Just makes me want to do like a generic northern, like a southerner doing a generic northern accent. Back in day, when mines were open. That was bad. That went south real quick. I
The
can get German real quick.
German.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because
German?
I slip into German and on Australian accents. Luxury, luxury.
Sure.
There we go. That's it. We're back.
German. I can do a German accent. I can do a Dutch accent.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the German accent and the Dutch accent are neighbours, really.
But the German is very much like this.
Just
And the
a bit
Dutch
more
is
calm.
much more like this. Yeah, well, yeah, it's because of where's my handy?
Yeah.
Where's my handy?
That's handy. We have a lot of fun over on the Atlantis Discord.
Yeah.
And I think we spent the whole afternoon doing accents.
Yeah, it's
You
need
do
more
need more
phlegm.
phlegm. You do need more phlegm for Dutch, and it's why in Belgium the Dutch-speaking people are called the Flemish. It's fact. That is
Am
historic
I
fact.
am I being corrected on my Dutch accent, or
Yeah, I think you are.
is it an observation
Yeah, yeah.
that the
That
Dutch
emo,
accent is more?
he did a passable Dutch accent, but just wasn't massively
No,
convincing.
no. Ik was niet overtuigd van zijn
Yeah.
Nederlands. I can do an English accent in Dutch.
An English accent in
Yeah,
Dutch.
as
Oh, so like
in
an English person speaking
yeah,
Dutch.
yeah, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I can pass as a non-native Dutch person.
Do you ever do that just to get out of conversations?
No, because in the Netherlands, people just talk English to you.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't speak Dutch, and then they like even the homeless people begging you for money. They go, "Oh, but I just want €1." They're like, "Oh fuck, sorry, no euros, just British pounds and all that."
I only accept gold member Dutch accents. Oh, crepe and a pancake, schmuck and a bong.
Cigar and a waffle.
Yeah.
Actually, the gold member Dutch accent is
Is
much more German than it is
and he's supposed
Dutch,
to
I
be
think.
Flemish.
Is he Gold
Yeah,
member?
yeah, yeah. He's
Oh.
Belgian in the it's canon.
I love that.
He's
I
he's
love that
Flemish.
GIF where Austin Powers' dad goes, I hate like. There's two things in the world I cannot tolerate:
Yeah,
people who are intolerant of other people's cultures and the Dutch.
and the Dutch.
Yeah. Um,
Actually, just saying, oh dear. Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. To provide them with the necessary context for these plays as you introduce them.
Oh, I was doing that thing you did earlier where I was like, oh, there's another page.
I've not gone much
Yeah,
further.
yeah.
I'm slow at the moment.
No, it's okay.
Um, yeah, we're probably if we do throw this into the website, I'm gonna expand on almost all of these. But
Yeah.
yeah,
We can have a little bit of editing and
yeah.
finessing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. So just since we've been kind of faffing about and writing for the past hour and a half already,
Ooh.
uh, time flies when you're having fun. Um, that's why the wings,
That's why the wings, yeah, yeah.
right?
It's nothing to do with being incredibly flighty and hard to keep on track.
Yeah. Nah,
No.
wouldn't dare. Tilda Swinton, the
Tilda
mutant.
Swinton is a mutant. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think for sure, like Tilda Swinton is like someone who changes form. She's a morph, um
yeah.
she's a shapeshifter.
Shapeshifter.
100%.
There we go. Yeah, Swinny
Swinda
Tilton.
Tilton.
Yeah, that's her mutant name.
That is her mutant name.
All right, so just to kind of wrap things up, like this post is far from done, and you can imagine that as we are writing this, sometimes it takes weeks to complete something like this, right? If you're writing a paragraph once or twice a day, back and forth, the timing has to align as well, obviously. So it can take quite some time to get it to a point where hey we're both happy with the topics that we've discussed. We're both happy with what we've accomplished in this post. But to get back to our original kind of point of yes and writing,
Mm.
um, do you want to reflect on what we've written so far and how we've?
Yes. Well, I have a question for you as well.
Yep.
Can I ask like a emu's top tip? So I think one of the things that's hardest when you first starting to write dialogue is making it sound natural.
Right.
Like because it's different writing. I find like I know that I tend to slip into like a very formal language when I'm writing as opposed to when I'm
Mm.
speaking.
Mm.
So do you have any tips for people starting out with dialogue of like how to make it very natural?
That's a very good question.
Thank you.
Is no an appropriate no?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
no,
I mean, if you haven't got a very good answer, we'll just move on and I'll
no,
give
no.
some
We'll
reflection.
we'll, we'll cut it out. We'll cut it out.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
We'll
God this isn't live.
we'll edit. Yeah, exactly. We'll edit the post.
Yeah.
um, Now, so this is one of those instances where I do think it's helpful to imagine kind of what that person does sound like and kind of
Mm.
reflect that back into your head. So the thing about writing dialogue, also like for this sort of thing, but also for screenplays and theater even as well, obviously, is that the way that characters talk, the way that dialogue um, develops is different from how that works in real life. So I think the first thing that you need to do is realize that. I don't know if you can still hear me. Your image is
Oh,
kind of breaking up.
I can just about hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
It's a bit robotic, so I think there's a
Oh,
connection thingy.
oh no.
Oh no. Oh, it stabilizes, I think.
Okay, there we go.
There we are. Um, so yeah, what I'm saying is that dialogue in written form or dialogue in kind of any kind of uh, entertainment, to have any kind of entertainment value, it needs to not be realistic.
Mm,
Because even as we're talking right now, but also just take a moment when you're next time when you're out in public and you hear people talk, they don't talk the way that you hear people talk in movies, series, that you see like read people talk in books, unless that's there's a niche kind of thing where they do that. But in general, like um people in real life, they talk over each other. People in real life, they go from one subject to the other. They don't stay on track. They make all these weird associations and all that sort of thing. So I think top tip is don't be too stuck on I want
I want it to be real
to
rather
be
than I want it to
real.
be
Yeah,
entertaining.
exactly. So there's
Yeah.
a very different kind of approach to that. And there's of course there's again, as I said, a niche and a place and a thing for realistic dialogue and having that kind of represented in your entertainment. But
Mm,
in general, people don't expect that in writing, in fiction.
mm.
So knowing that, um, one of the things that I do want to kind of press for, which is true for fan fiction writing, this role playing writing, and all that sort of thing. People don't straightforward tell you what they're feeling or thinking. So let's say Claire. Let me just scroll to the thingy. Claire, seeing the death of an anarchist on this list, is thinking, "Oh crap!" She wants to kind of get all of our students riled up against kind of the ruling class, right? That's kind of what she's aiming to do.
Yeah, yeah.
But rather than saying, "Hey, let's not rile up our students against the ruling class," she's saying, "Do you feel it's appropriate for
Yeah.
our age group?" So all of that, the thoughts and feelings and ideas that Claire has on this topic gets filtered through her personality, through her upbringing, through her background, through her kind of her role here as a headmistress.
Mm,
Um, and then it comes out as this language. So what you sometimes need to do is to just take a step back and think, okay, what is this? What are they going to try and convey? But how would that come out?
yeah, yeah.
Knowing their backgrounds, like with my Endorian character, a lot more kind of harsh, straight to the point, more direct. Basically, there's less of a filter there.
Mm,
But on the flip side, there's also like kind of really blocked off from her emotions because she was trained as a field medic in the Imperial, like in the Andorian Imperial Guard. So there's not a lot of time and effort put into bedside manner, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of filters that bit as well. So hopefully that
Yeah.
answers your question. I don't know if
No,
it
I
does, but
I think it does, and I think it also leads nicely into the reflection that I had.
there you go.
So that's it's
Lovely.
almost like this is planned, which it definitely wasn't, because
This
this
was
is
entirely
improvised.
scripted, especially the parts about
Yeah, yeah.
mutant Tilda Swinton.
Yeah. Which is this so like so we've kind of gone through the make a choice and offer them. So that's the who, where, what. And we've kind of like established a scene. We've both said yes, we're going to be in this scene together. We're going to accept whatever's in front of us and just respond to that. So that's about being present. And then the last thing, which in improv you would say like physicalize it. In and we were kind of chatting a little bit beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you suggested actually it's about show and then tell. And this idea that actually when you're writing dialogue, I think this is where it's not natural. So when we're sitting together, I'm sensing a lot of things about you from like your non-verbal cues and your
Mm-hmm.
verbal cues. But the one thing I can't see is your inner dialogue. And when we're writing, we do get to convey that. And then that's where you have to like there is like a kind of careful dance between partners about okay, so I can see that Emu's setting a tone for how Claire's feeling. Penny's not going to necessarily pick up on that because she's only privy to the physical cues and to the words that Claire is saying. So I think there's something there about actually what is the character seeing, and then what's the story that we can tell about what that character is seeing.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of like lifts us into a bit of a meta kind of place. But I think sometimes it's helpful to have that kind of lens in your head when you're writing with someone, especially if you know that someone is making a conscious choice to have a character withhold information from you.
Right.
Because those are like the really juicy kind of things when you're kind of like there's like a kind of push pull between what you want to say and actually how you're feeling.
Yeah.
And it would be complete like there's being not natural and entertaining, but then there's also like meta like gaming,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
also want to avoid as well. So that's my kind of closing reflections. Emu.
There
How
you
did I
go.
do?
It's awesome.
Brought us back topic.
Yeah, that was put a nice bow on it, I think, and
Thank you,
we
thank
can
you.
we
Oh
can
yeah,
work with that.
challenge of metagaming. I feel like
Yeah.
you could do a whole podcast just on like complaining about metagaming. Whether or
Let's
not it'd be entertaining is,
come
beside the
back
point.
come back in 2 weeks for a lot of complaining about metagaming. Not sure if that's particularly productive, but I think it would be
No, no,
entertaining.
no.
To be fair.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone has an opinion.
Yeah, exactly. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on, being kind of the first writing partner that I've had here. I think great success. We'll do this more often. Uh, Maybe invite some other people over.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope I have
Uh,
encouraged you to tap into all those clever, creative people that we have
yeah,
in the community.
obviously. They will have kind of big shoes to fill if they do. So again, thank you for coming
I
on.
am a very tall woman, it is true.
There you go. The big shoes help you from tipping
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
Yeah,
You got to do that, otherwise you're very top heavy.
exactly. Uh, Thank you for your contribution. Thank you all for coming and listening to us. Talk about writing and saying yes and we will see you all next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.